here. Loading. Okay, we are live. So, hi everyone, welcome to my channel, Hisame Artwork. Today I'm going to color page 93 from our comic book Niels Feynman's Time Traveling Adventures. And I'm just gonna open a older page so I can get the colors from there. So I press Alt to get the tool, eyedropper tool, so I can get whatever color I want. Squeeze that a bit more so I can see the chats better. Unfortunately, I have free chats again. That's just how it is when you're multi-streaming. Restream did have for a while a multiple chat feature, but it doesn't really work that well. I only get from YouTube the let's see here, the connectivity, so I had to return to my old format of 3 chats and trying to keep my eye on all of them so I don't miss anybody's comment, because what usually happens is I work, there's nobody saying anything, and then when somebody does say something, I forget to check and I don't see it. I always prefer it when there are a few people watching or they watch after the stream. It's a lot less stressful for me. But I'm also glad when a couple of people do join in the stream. You can say hi to them. Social media has been difficult to keep up with other people and what they're doing and kind of interact with them. Especially as an adult, because you know you have a job, you have a family, you have other things to do. You can't be online all the time to reply immediately. So yeah, I would definitely say that live streaming is more for younger people. And then when you have a host that's getting close to 30, we're just not gonna have much to talk about. It's not that I hate what cartoons are now, but I had a lot of issues with many cartoons that were on Cartoon Network at the time as well. I remember Ren and Stimpy. I don't know if older you guys that watch my streams remember Ren and Stimpy, but by God, that was a weird cartoon, and it was on like prime time for kids. When the author of that cartoon got charged with pedophilia, it just did not surprise me. That cartoon was weird and really messed up. Over the years, Cow and Chicken, I remember, my peers really loved it. Later, they got slapped with some accusations of them being homophobic and stuff like that. And these were the cartoons that were on Cartoon Network, so in that regard, I think the cartoons are better now than they were then. There are definitely a lot of weird stuff now as well that it's not to my taste, but I'm curious how it will age over the years. Um, I remember at one of the places where I worked, um, I was a animator, and I was working with other animators and illustrators, and I don't remember how the discussion went, but I said something like, "Oh my God, Cow and Chicken is such garbage. Who even watches that?" And like all of them in the room were fans of Cow and Chicken, and I was like, "Okay, I'm the only one who doesn't like Cow and Chicken." Uh, Definitely gives me modern art vibes, Cow and Chicken, like the controversial stuff that you sometimes see in modern art. So yeah, I was totally beside the cultural trend at that time. I feel like the cartoons now are a lot more thoughtful and politically correct. I think they try and be less rude, less controversial. I don't know. I think it's because a lot of the parents keep a stricter eye on maybe what's happening. I remember when I was little, parents just viewed all cartoons as bad, or, like sugar. Oh, sugar is bad for you, cartoons are bad for you. I'll let you watch, or I'll let you have a lollipop if you do what I say. While now, people my age have kids of their own, so they take more of an interest in what their kids watch because they both grew up with cartoons. So it's more of a, oh, you can watch this cartoon but not that cartoon, and they do complain to Cartoon Network and stuff like that because now you have emails, you don't have just um, a normal mail, you have email and you can immediately send a complaint. So stuff gets done faster, for sure. But back in my day in communist East Europe, now I only lived 2 weeks of that era. But the parents lived in, in communism, and when they were young, um, I think they only had like one TV channel. They definitely have only one TV channel before the revolution, and it was just propaganda. So you can imagine those types of people. Um, they didn't really know what cartoons were. Some of them, or like they viewed them as kids stuff. And TV was bad for you. You shouldn't stay close to the TV. Um, you shouldn't read close to the book. Often they wouldn't provide like a good environment for the kid to read because it was a much more independent way of raising your kid. You like leave it loose and it'll manage. So a friend of mine actually ruined her eyes by reading at this very crappy light because she did love to read. And yeah, she's the only one in her family that wears eyeglasses, and it's not myopia, which is a common affliction. It's hypermetropia, which means she can't see up close anymore. I have myopia and I can see close just fine, but I have issues with distance. I can't see very well. Okay, let's see. I'm missing the ribbons for this. I realize now they're missing. Let's see if I can get them from here. Do I have duplicate layer? Oh, it just does inside the file. See, this is something I don't like about Clip Studio Paint. I have to make a separate file and copy paste that. Oh, flex ink. I'm gonna delete this extra stuff. I don't need it. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna erase this extra stuff here and I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger. Just in a second. And I kind of feel the need to clean it up a bit. Don't know if I should put it above the boss cat or below. I will make a decision later. Let me just get my pen tablet. I'm trying to kind of copy the way June did it. Let's see if it's still working. Okay, I have some people watching. Hi there. Yeah, kind of hard to get that one. I'll just leave it be and color it, erase whatever's extra in Photoshop when it's rasterized. So flag color now. And let's see if I can get this right. So I had yellow, blue, blue, yellow, blue, blue, yellow, blue, blue, yellow, and blue, blue. What is it doing? Okay. Should have turned off the background layers. Yep. You can adjust, of course, how you have the reference layers work and with the fill and bucket tool. If you're interested in more details about that, you can go check out my Clip Studio Paint tutorial playlist. There I will explain, there I have explained how the bucket tool works with the reference layers. Okay, and the pattern is blue, red, yellow, green, blue, red, yellow, green, blue, red, blue, red, yellow, green. And I shouldn't have erased that part there. So I'm gonna go back to Flags Ink and repair what I just did. And actually it should be this one that's erased because it's behind the other line. Oh, hey, hi Kirani. About cartoons from my childhood. If you remember what was on Cartoon Network, I think you had the same shows I did. Also, can you hear me okay? Quite possibly. Sorry, YouTube was being weird. I know it wouldn't Load. Chrome. Mozilla was fine. Ninja Turtles, Ghostbusters. Really, that old? I thought you were only like 3 years older than me. I thought. Hmm. Pokemon, Sailor Moon. Oh, Digimon. Yeah, I like Digimon. There was this bean-shaped animal with wings. I forget what it was called, but that was my favorite. From Digimon, yeah. Patamon? Let me see. Patamon, like everything was Mon, I think. Yeah, Patamon. Wow, I can't believe you remember it. I searched for it the other day and I just couldn't find it. Uh, yeah, this is the flying bean. I like this one. This was my favorite. I wasn't much of a Pikachu fan, but I was like, I love Patamon. I can't remember anything about it though. I mean, I hope it was okay. But the evolution was really weird because Patamon then turned into a human. And I was like, I don't like that. Gatomon. 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 Oh, Gatomon. Yeah, I remember him, but I don't remember anything that happened. What was the evolution of Gatomon? Oh, it turned into a woman? Anjewomon. Ofanimon. Oh my god, the names are terrible. Yeah. Okay, so it starts as a dog, then turns into a cat, then turns into a woman that's scantily dressed, and then she gets more clothes, and then she turns into a monster. Digimon is not as I remembered it. It was more okay when I like my childhood brain. Yeah, Crunchyroll is good for rewatching this stuff. It's not as good as I remember it, obviously. Like that's super weird and inappropriate. I can see why now my parents weren't so much big of fans of anime like Sailor Moon. I remember my parents were like, "You're watching that again. Watch something else." Cause like a lot of these things, they just go over your head and you don't understand what their parents' problem is. And like you're watching women that are barely dressed. 'Cause I don't know what was with the instant connection to anime back then. Well, it was very flashy and colorful, I think, and it was something different. At least for me, that was the appeal. It was something exotic. Yeah, I remember I preferred anime as opposed to American cartoons because what was on American cartoons then was mostly Cow and Chicken and Ren and Stimpy, so it was like really dumb stuff coming from Americans. You had two dumb dogs, like everything was really stupid that was coming from Americans. Like you would occasionally have Batman, the animated series, which were amazing. But that was just one cartoon series that was good. The rest was just garbage. Cow and Chicken was special. It was extra special. Like I could see why my parents were against it. Even I didn't like it too much. It was just a lack of anything else to watch. You know, you would go and you would want to watch cartoons because you're a kid. You want to watch something fun, and that's all you had. I saw these dumb American shows on Cartoon Network, and then the Batman animated series. I think it was on something else. I always loved Sundays because on Sundays in Romania you would get French cartoons, which were really nice, and better curated, I think. I would get Japanese anime on Romanian TV channels, so I would have on. Oh, and I would also get Simpsons on ProSieben, which is a German channel. It was dubbed. I thought it was a German TV show, but no, it was American. Except it was never on Cartoon Network because it belonged to Fox. So have the displeasure of watching Ultimate Muscle and Fighting Food Dons. I don't know. Can I Google it? Like, is it safe for work? If anybody's watching, because I know some people watch my streams at school or at when they're commuting in public. I don't want to put them in a bad situation. Yeah, it's safe for work. Okay, so let's see. Ultimate Muscle Fighting Foodons. Foodons. No, I did not see this. I do not remember this. But I mean, if you think of bad anime, this is what would come up. Oh, it's so creepy how they look. Um, but I was so glad when I had A plus, the channel A plus, and we started getting stuff like Yu Yu Hakusho, Inuyasha. Art style was a bit curious. Yeah, that an anime you showed me, Fighting Fudons, was reminds me of One Punch Man, but better art. Ah, nah, I don't think so. Food Pokemon fighting other food. Ah, okay, now I understand why it's food on. Spaghetti about it. Oh. I mean, it has its own charm, but I think it would be a bit tiresome after a while as an adult. At least I mean, I enjoy silliness, but I wanted to have like more to it. It's not just silliness. Like I want to have a point or something. Like a cohesive story. I think I've always looked for stuff like that. I enjoy silliness, but um, I kind of wanted to go somewhere with an idea. And this is why I liked One Punch Man. Have you seen One Punch Man? At first I thought it was something retarded and I didn't want to watch it. But like I said, I have reviewers that I trust and I follow, and they recommended One Punch Man, so I thought, okay, I will watch the first episode. Because the trailers were terrible, like, it wasn't interesting for me at all. Yeah, it wasn't hooking me. But then I saw, like I said, the review. Hi, June, hi. How are you? Hope you can hear me okay. Toddler has found the idea of putting her skin on her stuffed animals. Ah, yes. Oh, the joys of having a child. Like I'm postponing that for as long as possible. It'll be just a nightmare when I have a kid. I won't be able to do anything. So I'm kind of glad we're too poor to have a kid. Like a lot of people will sometimes, jokingly or seriously tell us, and like, when are you gonna have a kid? Aren't you getting a bit old? The clock is ticking. I'm like, I can't afford a kid. They're too goddamn expensive. I'll get a cat, okay? We can compromise. I'll get a cat. Um, it's a lot cheaper. It doesn't need to go to college. It doesn't need very stimulating things. It can do just fine with very little. I can stick a feather on a stick and there we go. We have entertainment for the cat. And in fact, I can't wait for us to live in one place, not travel anymore. So uh, we can get a cat and keep it. My husband has had a lot of cats, and we're both on board with having a cat. I just want a fur baby that I can snuggle and get weird clothing. Um, I don't know how it is in where you guys are, but where we are at the supermarkets, at Walmart and stuff like that, you have baby clothing that um, is super cute. You have raccoon costumes and little formal suits and just a bunch of cute stuff for kids here. And I can't wait to have an excuse to buy some of that. Like I'll often be upset that I'm too big and I can't fit in it. Because I would love to be able to wear some of that stuff. I think I can find it on the website. Raccoon baby clothing. Oh. That is just too cute and too expensive, but it is adorable. And you have foxes, of course, and a whole bunch of stuff. And it fits on a cat, which is great. Of course, it's even better if you get actual cat clothing, because then it can still go do its business. And you don't have to worry about it. Okay, let's see. I had it darker, darker, darker. Lighter, lighter. Oh, the film Green Book is coming out. I'm curious if it will be available at the cinema where you are. Probably since it's an American film, probably not. I'm still curious if you'll be able to see it because it's not coming in my village. And it's kind of weird for me because it's an American film, so kind of surprised they're not showing it in the cinema. I don't know if you saw the trailer for the film. Because they're pretty famous actors playing it, so I'm kind of surprised it's considered an obscure film. Um, the film director for the Green Book is the same guy that did Dumb and Dumber. If I had known it was him, like I wouldn't have been interested in the film because I didn't like Dumb and Dumber. But this film is shaping up to be like a really awesome story. At least that's how it seems in the trailer. And you have Viggo Mortensen and Mahershala Ali, the guy that got Oscars for Moonlight. I think he got for Moonlight. I just love buddy comedies, especially those that have road trips in them. Let's see here. Pavement. Ah, June, I gotta explain to you um, the other pages, maybe. I'm not sure if she hears me. You go over sketch pages. Yes, yes. Ah, okay, you can hear me. Okay, dokie. Let's see, page 94. So it is the princess and the donkey on stage. And I want her to look like what's her called? Princess Bubblegum, just because she looks really like a fairy to me. Princess Bubblegum. And it's a fun character. I liked her in Adventure Time. So this is her, like, you can do something that looks a bit like this. I think that would be a cute homage, and I'm curious how many people would recognize her because my audience is younger than me. Uh, Maybe they will, because it's a pretty new show. It's 5, maybe 7 years old at this point. Um, yeah, so Marie is like, "Oh, look, it's a Shakespeare play. Let's come and let's go and watch it, 'cause Shakespeare's so awesome." Well, yeah, but it's like super small. It's not that big of a problem. I can change. Yeah. I'll tweak it a bit. No, it's the fairy queen. What's her name? Titania. So it's Titania, and I forgot the donkey man's name. Um, but I would like him to look a bit more like BoJack Horseman. Bo BoJack the horse. Like, this is a terrible character and a horrible human horse being. Uh, and he's just a sad, sad character. So I think it would be, it would fit a bit if we had like a little reference. I know he's supposed to be a donkey, but we can just make like a BoJack Horseman with long ears, and therefore it's a donkey. If it has long ears, then it's gray. Yeah, so Erwin then complains to Marie that it's not a play for kids. And I kind of wanted to make a fun little commentary on awkward situations where parents like something and they want to show them to the kids, and then it's not really for kids. Let me see your adjustments when you're done so I can make her similar. Yeah. I'll show you. The dress, I would keep it like pretty much the same way you did. Just more for the head. I will do that, like that crown with the long thing on the top. Yeah, that weird thing. Let's see, Princess Bubblegum. So yeah, this is her crown. It's like an antenna. So I'm gonna add that. And then you have here like um Marie and Niels are arguing, like sometimes parents argue, and if you're a little kid, you don't get why they're arguing, and the discussion is boring, and the parents are talking about things you do not get and you do not care about, and then you get forced to go to a museum or something like that you don't want to do as a kid, but you gotta do because your parents said so. Um, so yeah, Niels here, he's confused, and this panel 3, he doesn't understand what they're talking about. Then he kind of he's bored. He's exhaling. It's like sigh, like they're at it again. They're arguing again, and it's boring. Is uh, yeah, so like then he looks at his watch and is like, okay, and then he sits down to watch the play he doesn't want to watch, and that Marie has dragged him to that play before, and Marie and Erwin are arguing, and you have the backdrop of the fountain and the food stands here in the back. A woman in the front, she's like, shh, like, guys, shut up, I'm trying to watch the play and you're arguing here. Um, she's not really looking at Marie. She's just going, uh, like kind of turning her back and going shh. So she doesn't really see that it's a dog and a cat arguing. Um, Hopefully it will be clear that she doesn't. She's kind of like not responding to. Yeah, like in cinemas. And usually you like don't see, or you're not looking at the person because you can't see them anyway, because your back is turned, and it's a weird position to be like when you just go shh in the direction of your back. And then the donkey and the princess are like doing something that kind of looks indecent, and it's confusing for Niels because he's never seen a play that is like that, because he's from the far future, so it's like an even more controlled version of what we have now. Because now, you have all of these ratings, and a lot of things are not for kids. Now you have the distinguishing situation. You have teenagers, you have kids, and you have adults, and there are like different levels of what is considered okay for people to watch. And there. So back then, in Shakespeare's time and in Newton's time, there wasn't this idea that, oh, this is not for kids. You just had stuff that was indecent and against the church, and stuff that was okay. And this kind of stuff, it was okay. But Niels is from the future, so he's he's confused about what's going on stage, and asks like, "Hey, what are they doing?" And also here in the corner, um, is gonna be Marie punching Erwin in the face because he said that Shakespeare is trash. And Shakespeare at the time was, when he was alive, he was like pretty controversial and really not okay, and it was considered like low class art. A lot of his plays were in English, and high art was in Latin or something like that, or Italian. Um, so Shakespeare was seen as low art, and he kind of became popular later on. The action of the story takes place 70 years after Shakespeare's death, but I don't think he would have been elevated to the status of high art in such a short amount of time. So then Marie jumps quickly and grabs onto Niels's hoodie, and I was like, don't look, because they're doing something that really she considers not for kids. Welcome back, Kirani. And then she pulls his sleeve and gets him out of the theater. Makes my remaining. Oh, sorry. So he gets pulled out of the theater, and there's the woman again that goes shh. Yeah. Um, because she's enjoying the because she is enjoying the play. For those of you that don't know, Midsummer Night's Dream is this really weird love story. That's, I would say it's not appropriate for kids. So yeah, and Marie then apologizes to Erwin for because he was right, and Erwin says, "I'm like, oh, you owe me a lot of tuna for this." And then they joke about how in the future, Disney owns everything and has made everything family friendly, and how all the stories that she knew, it seems the original is not for kids. And of course I'm alluding to how the grim stories that you have on Disney's, like Beauty and the Beast and Sleeping Beauty and all of those, they were really inappropriate for kids, but Disney kind of made them for kids. And they're joking how Game of Thrones for kids is gonna come out soon. And Elsa and Danny are gonna be riding the Alien Queen, because the Alien franchise now belongs to Disney as well. Yeah, the fairy tales were really hardcore. I'm glad that Disney made a family-friendly version. Because I can enjoy them now too. I wouldn't have watched them as a kid if they were the original. Adorableness scale, you mean Elsa and Danny on the Alien Queen riding the Alien Queen, or what do you mean it's adorable? But yeah, I really do give it like 50 years before Disney buys Game of Thrones. Xenomorph in the next Star Wars now. Yeah, we could have that. I don't think they will necessarily do that yet. Although the Mario Smash Bros. Where they combined a bunch of characters, the video game was a pretty big success. So usually what Disney does and Marvel, they do. Oh, and DC as well. So they do a cartoon version of something, and if the film has success, then they turn it into live action. So this is how it's been with Justice League Dark. They did a couple of feature film animations, and now they're planning to do a live version of it. And it seems that Keanu Reeves will not be Constantine anymore, which is kind of sad because I thought he was great for the role. But it was a pretty big departure from the original, so I can understand them wanting to return to that because a lot of the fans were displeased. I can't watch the new series. Would be appropriate though. I don't like that. I'm the kind of person that doesn't like to mix this stuff up. I'm like everything has to be in its proper place. No crossovers, please. No. She was referring to Star Wars combined with aliens, I think, and other things like that. I am doing a multiverse for my stories, so the horror story that I published, A Strange Encounter, is actually contemporary with Niels' story, and I just wanted to give a different look into the world, um, but from a darker lens, because there's a lot of sad, ugly stuff happening in Niels's world because it's our world and it's 400 years in the future, so it's like it's still humans. But this is kind of how you view it as a kid, and everything is fine. Take care, June. I am going to allude to some of the stuff, and I had a TV news channel in the background showing some of the stuff that's going on in Niels's world. But since it's for kids, this one I don't want to hit you over the head with what's going on. Like you can guess that there's something happening, but I don't want it to be a distraction. I want the focus to be on the three friends going on adventures. So if you're into horror, uh, in the Disney buys Niels, I hope not. um, but I did make some jokes. Let me show you. So if you're into horror and mystery, you can check out A Strange Encounter. And I am also kind of giving some clues as to other books that I'm working on and will be published at some point. In the end, I decided to let's see, to kind of put all of my projects on my blog so that it's like clear for everyone what I'm working on and what has been done and what's going to be done. And I've already started to mention some of the books that I'm working on in A Strange Encounter. So, a book series is going to come out at some point. I made it a video game within the Niels Feynman um, universe, and it comes from someone that was dreaming that world, and that world actually exists. It's just in a different galaxy, far, far away. Ah, yeah, kitty cat. And it ate its fish. Well, Erwin did give her the fish. So he was apologizing because he called her a dog earlier and he was rude to her. So he's like, I'm sorry I called you a lap dog and everything. And then she like takes the fish and runs away. Like, apology accepted. Kind of reminds me of that joke with, if your woman is angry, throw chocolate at her. If that doesn't work, hide and throw some more chocolate. And since it's a cat, it's gonna be a fan of fish instead of chocolate. I'm kind of still trying to find out what cats prefer. Apparently, they can't taste sweet, but the cats in my story, I had the rise of the planet of the cats, so they are spliced with human DNA. But I haven't decided all the details, like can they taste sugar or not. Like I'm not sure of the how the gene editing works so much. I mean, if you can start walking upright because your pelvis changes, I guess you can taste sugar. Uh, like I would love to have a talk with a geneticist and kind of talk more about how this stuff works. Because you read online about biology and chemistry, but conquered Australia. No, the cats in Australia, they were nice. They kind of got the land with consent and made their own government there. Australia is pretty permissive about this stuff. Like the most number of independent countries, you find them, microstates, you find them in Australia. But where conquest of land has been more violent has been with in Africa and in uh, in India because that's where big cats were like lions and like this is our land, you humans get off of it. And so was in India. You had like tigers coming with advanced weaponry and taking over the area. Like I like I built the whole world for this, but since it's a kid's story, I'm not gonna give too much information about it because kids don't care about politics. And if there are any adults that wanna get more info about the story, then I have some info there for them. And like what wars have been. Laser tigers, yeah, like that's has been the situation. And I have some more character sheets that I've put on Patreon with more world lore. Because if you remember, you have the cat team. Let me see where I have world. Have some maps here. Like you have the team here, and they're like from different states. Like some of them are from Australia. That's okay and nice, and some of them are from the African state, and some of them are from the Indian state. And I put some more world lore there as well. Um, that is available for Patreons because they donate. And but I think I will switch mostly to coffee from now on and post stuff there because on Patreon it taxes way too much. So I think I'm gonna switch to coffee. I've already made an account there. If you don't know what coffee is, let me show you. Coffee. Hmm. Maybe I have the link somewhere else. I think I may have posted it. Let's see. Also, I have some more freebies now on my blog because I reached 100 subscribers. Yay! Where the heck did I put the link for coffee? There we go. Found it. So yeah, this is coffee. It has less features than Patreon, but I don't care because nobody really used them anyway. Still, I think the tipping on Tapastic is the best. And maybe, I don't know, maybe I'll change what has been on on Patreon, and I'll change it to Tapastic, like unlock the extra world content there on Tapastic if a certain amount got reached. Mostly I just wanted to make it for everybody. Eventually, like all of it unlocks. Anyway, cause I always felt bad, when I was young and didn't have a bank account. Like I want the extra content, but I can't contribute cause I don't have a bank account, and that was always bumming me down. So that's why I eventually make everything public anyway, because I know there's some people there that feel the same way I do. or are in the same situation I was. I'll probably unlock them in December now, because I am gonna take a break and just not do anything for 2 weeks. Like, that's my goal, to be lazy. I've been so active with everything the past few months because I have to do the advertising and everything for myself, and also tutorials I try to put out, since I had gotten requests to do tutorials, and also it helps my channel. Like, I got a bunch of new subscribers since I started doing some more tutorials, so that was nice. I wanna get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube so I can unlock more features. I have been looking at YouTube alternatives and I haven't found one yet. If you guys have any recommendations, I'd be happy to hear them. I looked at stuff like Daily Motion and what else was there? DTube, but it just looked horrible. I couldn't find any good content there, so if I put stuff like mine, I don't think anybody there would be interested in my work. Because you kind of have to go where the audience is, and it just seemed to me like people there didn't seem the kind that would be interested in science fiction comics or art tutorials. Like, I searched art tutorials and tutorials about art subjects, and I just couldn't find any of them there, so I don't think it's the place for me. You know what, this background, I think I can just copy paste the other ones. So I'm gonna leave that one. Let's see, people. I had the pink guy. Oops. There we go. Yellow. Green. Darker green. The stage. Okay, and I have the people here. Ah, gotta do the background purple. Turn off everything again. Ah, just blobbed everything. I always draw on the wrong layer, it's so annoying. I don't know if it happens that often to you guys. Like, let me know you do it too, so I don't feel so bad. Panel 8, there we go. Let's see which one I didn't mask. So I put on masks in order to have no leakage of colors. Like sometimes I would like miss the mark and draw outside of it, and it's just easier if I put a mask on it. Because maybe I want the content underneath and I don't want to erase. I prefer to have the option to move stuff around. Okay, so I think I'm gonna stop here. Oh, I still have those characters there. Yeah, I said I would replace those. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna stop here with the stream and continue the rest offline. So as always, thank you everyone for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you have any more questions or suggestions, those of you watching the recording, as always, you can leave it in the comments below. So yeah, the next stream is gonna be Saturday at 1 o'clock as well, and I'm gonna be playing some video games. I'm gonna be playing Barbarian. Let me show you guys what that is. Barbarian. So it's a cute old game that I enjoyed quite a lot playing. You play as this Viking singer that has turned his axe into a guitar, and you get companions and defend the city against orcs and other things like that. It's a pretty cute game. I kind of like this graphic style, you know, simplified, no nose. And you also have a minion, a pet raccoon that will help you collect the loot and a whole bunch of other stuff like that. So yeah, I look forward to playing it again. Hope you do too, and see you in the next one, everyone. Bye bye.